Coinmena was founded in 2020 out of a real need. So I guess when you want to create a business, you have two models, a push model and a pull model. A push model is when you come up with an idea and you try to push it to the market to see if it has a real need. Where the pull model is you find a market problem or a market failure and you create a solution for that. So in Coinmena's case, all three of us, we're three founders, Yazan, Dina, and myself. We all realized that the Middle East really needs a reliable crypto exchange that is regulated. And we basically applied to the Central Bank of Bahrain. We were lucky to get licensed towards the end of 2020 and launched the exchange in the beginning of last year. Yeah, I mean, Coinmena hasn't been live for a year yet, so hopefully we'll celebrate our first year birthday soon. But I would say getting the license from the central bank was definitely a milestone because that allowed us to launch and resume commercial operations. But our milestone is to become the #1 crypto exchange. So I wouldn't say we have achieved our goals yet. Crypto exchanges, you can take two routes. You either take the route that Binance and the others did, which is just launch without really thinking of financial regulations or anti-money laundering requirements, which for us we think is a little bit short-sighted. At Coinmena, we've always been very aggressive with growth, but there's two risks that we don't really entertain: anti-money laundering risk and cybersecurity risk. So in order to comply with AML regulations, you obviously need to be compliant to the local regulations. So we're regulated by Central Bank of Bahrain. We've also obtained a license in Europe, in Lithuania, and then we're also getting licensed here in the UAE as well. We've signed with Dubai World Trade Center, who along with ESCA will be launching new crypto regulations focused on Dubai. So Coinmena is currently operational in UAE, Saudi, Kuwait, Oman, and Bahrain, 5 GCC countries that the Central Bank of Bahrain allowed us to onboard residents of those countries. We do all our business out of Bahrain. So technically customers come to us to Bahrain, sign a Bahraini contract or agree to Bahraini terms and conditions. But soon we'll be expanding to beyond the GCC because I think the name kind of gives it away, right? It's Coinmena. There's also MENA and Middle East and North Africa that's on our radar. The most interesting learnings is that you speak to some people, you think you're late in crypto. You speak to others, you think you're very early. I guess I've been in this industry for quite a while, so I assume that everyone's also somewhat up to speed. But then you speak to experienced bankers, finance professionals, lawyers, and they still are just starting, which makes me feel that we're kind of early in the crypto cycle. But then you speak to like 22-year-olds that don't know the world without Bitcoin or without crypto. Because for the past 5-7 years, let's say during their studying, during their first job, it's been a core asset in the world of finance. So I think just like my generation lived with, like I remember the world pre-internet. Some people won't know the world without Bitcoin. Our focus is mass retail. Mass retail means we want to onboard anyone and everyone. One of the company's mission or vision is to bring the largest number of people from the Middle East into the world of crypto because we think it is the future of finance and it is the way financial services are going to be provided. So in terms of our typical customer profiles, crypto is still more male-dominated, I would say. That's something that we're trying to change at Coinmena. But I would say the majority of customers are between the age of 25 and 45. I know that's quite a wide range, but that's basically the demographic. And then you have all sorts of different professional backgrounds. People working in tech are often inclined to look at crypto given the proximity to the industry. But we've also started to see a lot more from financial services and professional services. Consultants, lawyers, bankers, and usually bankers is the most polarizing one because 5 years ago, a bank like JP Morgan would basically tell its employees that they wouldn't have them on board if they traded crypto. Now they've changed the narrative completely to starting to launch crypto services themselves. Yeah, so I think every market in the world is volatile, yet it's dampened by some sort of centralized control. If you think of what happened with NASDAQ during COVID, they hit the circuit breakers, which means they've stopped trading. If you look at the Russian stock market, they've halted trading. They don't allow people to buy or sell. Crypto, and Bitcoin in specific, are the world's only or the most free market. And what I mean by a free market is that there is no central authority or central entity that is regulating and controlling price. I'm obviously a fan of free markets, which is why I believe decentralized trading is going to be the future. Yeah, I would say Bitcoin is volatile in the short term because we're measuring it using the dollar. But if you think of Bitcoin over a 5 or a 10-year period, then it's clearly an upwards trajectory, given that, so Bitcoin is the only asset in the world that you can't increase its supply if price increases, which is why any effect on demand will have a direct impact on price and not on supply. Is one of the most important elements for not only crypto exchanges, but any financial services business. And I guess we think of it like an onion. We need to continue putting layers and layers because the reality is no exchange is 100% secure. You need to become as close to 100 as possible. Luckily for us, there's a lot of infrastructure providers that are top class. Amazon Web Services they have on-premises servers in Bahrain, which allows us to be safe by using Amazon and be compliant to data residency regulations, because if you are a Bahraini entity, you need to store your data in Bahrain. Luckily for us, Amazon has on-premises servers in Bahrain, which allows us to use that. We also use Cloudflare, which is very popular. It's like the gatekeeper of many websites on the internet. And then we have a culture of always being attentive to security, end-user device security. There's an internal program that pushes the team to be aware, because believe it or not, a lot of the hacks or the compromises of crypto exchange are by internal malicious actors. If you think of what happened in Korea, in Hong Kong, many exchanges that got hacked weren't actually hacked by external attackers. It was something internal that didn't go right. So that's why we believe at Coinmena that it's very important to align the incentives of the team with the company. We initially funded the startup ourselves. Yazan, Dina, myself, we thought that funding it for the first year and a half would allow us and create a company culture that's nimble, and that's basically not flushed with cash, which is how most of the crypto industry is. After we developed a product market fit, we realized that people want this product. We raised external capital by doing a seed round. We were lucky to have Beko Capital, FTX, Arab Bank Switzerland, and Kinetic. And we're currently working on our Series A, which we'll aim to wrap up in the coming months. Yeah, I mean, Coinmena's offering today serves the real market need, which is the on-ramp and off-ramp. If you have Riyals, you can go to Bitcoin. If you have Ethereum, you can go to Dirham. So it is the connection between the crypto world and the traditional world. That's, in our eyes, one of the biggest market failures, and that's why we've specifically targeted it. But now that we have over 120,000 customers, the idea is to launch financial services for those customers. So whether it is lending, borrowing, staking, payments, we think of Coinmena as a financial institution as opposed to just a crypto exchange. Crypto exchange trading is just the tip of the iceberg. So yeah, the goal over the coming year is to be the #1 crypto business in the Middle East from a user perspective, plus offer these users a wide range of financial services. At this stage, as an investor, the risk of not holding Bitcoin is far larger than the risk of holding it. I think Chamath Palihapitiya, who's a big investor in San Francisco, coined a term that's quite interesting, and it's schmuck insurance. You don't want to be You don't want to be the person that doesn't buy this asset class that could revolutionize the world of finance. So if you think of global wealth as 400 trillion, crypto is about 2 trillion. That means 0.5% of global wealth is in crypto. If you have less than 0.5% of your wealth in crypto, then you are below the global benchmark. So I would say get off zero. If you don't have any crypto now, download Coinmena and make your first investment. And you can invest as little as $5. That's one thing that I think people often forget, is that you don't need to buy a fancy, like an apartment, for example. You need to take a mortgage. With crypto, you can buy with as little as $5.